Let's have a look at how I made this magical tag. Hello and welcome to the Treasured Page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space. Today I'm going to walk you through how I made my mixed media tag for this month's project. It is an upside down tag where we can pull out the journaling card to reveal what's inside. So we have an opening space here to see the inside. Really fun. I'm going to show you how I put this together with just a few simple scraps from my scrap tray and some paints and embellishments. Let's have a look. So for the insert of my tag, I'm just going to do ink effects so that it doesn't catch when I slide it in and out of the tag. So we're just going to take some rusty hinge colour and do some blending around the outside. Let's just bring in this lovely autumny glow colour that we all come to hope for at this time of the year. Just that lovely low light, really pretty, really warming, nice and cosy. So I'm just going to do that on front and back. And then I'll do some stamping, I think, or stenciling. Just starting on the paper and then bringing it onto the tag. And that way it gets the corner, the edges as well. Going round in a circular motion. And I'm bringing in Stampers Anonymous Entomology collection where we've got the bugs and the beetles. I think that that's quite fun. So I'm also going to use this script stamp, which I like. All right, so I'm putting down my ground espresso dark brown and I'm just going to put some of the text on the edge there, like that, just so that we get a little sense of something. Oh, there we go. So that's quite fun, and I can do the same on the back with what's left of the ink. Okay, that is brilliant. So there's nice texture there. All right, I'm using my black archival ink and we're going to stamp out the beetles down the edge. So I'm just going to put these here. That's great. Yeah, they're good. I'm going to see if I can put the ladybug on here, but if I don't like it, I'll put something else down there because I just think that the legs are going to come off the edge. Yeah, not sure about that, but it was a nice idea. Needed to be a bit smaller. Let's have this up here. That's better. So we'll put that ant creeping across the bottom there. Okay, that's quite good. So that's going to live inside there. It'll be like that. And that gives me space to sew it. All right, I've got a bit of napkin down the bottom there. So when I want to sew this or glue this shut, I have got something that's just poking underneath. And what I want to do, we've talked about putting a window in this, so I think I'd better not shy away from that challenge. But a window always suggests to me that perhaps it's a house and we're looking into a window. So I'm thinking along those lines. The other idea is that I do a window and then we could see the bugs as we pull the tag out. But I'm thinking I like the idea that maybe this is a house. So now I'm thinking nature inspired. What house is inspired by nature? And I'm thinking about the woods and the woodland and the creepy bits. And I'm thinking maybe we're looking at Harry Potter and maybe Hagrid's house outside in the woods, a little woodland cottage, which would have that nice glow because he has the glow of the fire. So you would be able to see this tag through the window and you'd see the glow of that colour through the window. So I'm thinking that's where I'm going with this. For that, I'm going to need to get really creative and get my pencil out and just sort of think how we can do this. So Hagrid's house is a hexagonal house. It's a shape like that. We've already got a shape up here. So if Hagrid's house is a hexagon, it would be here. So if I draw a line there, and then if I draw a line here, I can work with that as an idea. All right, so then I could have windows here, but they're going to be little windows. I'm not sure about those. Maybe they'll be here. Okay, maybe I'm preferring windows emerging here. This is a bit of Hagrid's house, and then I'm fairly sure the door happens like this, but this is made of wood up here. All right, maybe. Okay, Hagrid's door would be there. This is the windows. Tiles. Okay, I've got my tag on my cutting mat. I'm going to cut out the windows. I've used my pencil and I've just drawn in some further lines here. I'm kind of liking the idea that this could be reminiscent of a cobweb, so I'm using that as my idea. And then what I want to do is just cut out these windows. So I'm going to just use my metal ruler here. I want to make sure that I've got enough allowance there so that I can do some stitching in a minute. I want to make sure that I stitch this shut, and I'm just going to put in some lines there to cut out these small windows. And then I should be able to just take out my little windows here. That's a similar thing here. Just using a very inexpensive craft knife that I picked up at the craft store. Okay, and then I'm thinking I would quite like the door to open. I might cut that afterwards. I think I'm going to strengthen that up with some scraps that represent wood, and then I'll cut the door open afterwards. So I'll do that later. But that's what I wanted to go with so far. And then we'll just have a look at the tag. Insert, so that would sit there. We're just going to see that. That's a bit creepy, isn't it? So we will see that through there. I'll probably make that a little bit darker, just where we would see through the window, but that's where we are at now. So what I want to do is just sew around it, and then I'm going to put my decoration on. And for that I've got lots of textured papers. I'm going to build up some tiles on here, and then I've got some stenciling work that I'm going to do down here to make this look like cobbled stones. So we've got a wooden roof with tiles and cobbled stones and a wooden door. That's what I'm going to aim to do. Okay, back from the sewing machine. I've neatly done that, but then I've realised when my tag has been taken out, I'm just going to see the plain manila colour there. So I'm now putting some colour over the top here, just so that when the tag is pulled out we'll see the same sort of orange glow. And we'll just do that like that. Okay. What I want to do is I don't want to see the harsh lines. I've made a mistake here really. I should have inked before I sewed round. So now I'm just going to put some water in there just to move that ink around and create a little effect like that. Now the next thing to do is to make sure that we've got the door with some sort of texture on it. I've got these, I've got this. This could be nice for a wooden door, or I could use this as my door. Just cut down there. Okay, I'm going to be sticking this down here. This is going to become my door. Ooh, goodness. Okay, we were trialling some new glue there and it has completely squirted everywhere. So I'm just sticking this down. I thought it was going to be a silicone glue like we have had before, very quick to bond, but it isn't. Sticky, very sticky. Okay, we've got this stuck on. I've used this Fabri-Tac Power Fuse glue. It's very, very runny, not recommending it at the moment, but it has stuck that paper on there, but it's like a watered down PVA glue rather than a silicone glue, and it didn't dry quickly, so I'm not very thrilled with it. I thought I was buying something like a Beacon 3-in-1 or a Fabri-Tac, you know, the clear glue, but this is just a watery glue just dripping out, and came out in a gush. So I'm not happy with it at the moment. Okay, I've got my door, and actually it now has a window on the other side, so that's quite fun. Start putting a bit of ink inside the door there. Okay, now I've got some textured papers here. I'm going to cut some tiles and start putting them on here. It may be that they overlap and come off the side of the tag, which I think is going to be quite useful. I'm going to use and embrace this runny glue, and everything needs to be covered anyway, so I'm just going to hide the join of that door. A little bit of tea bag paper there, which has got a bit of strength to it, so I'm going to add that, and then that will help with that hinge. Okay, and now I'm putting this glue all over up here. I'm just going to spread that around where we need it, and then I can start putting in the pieces using my little guidelines and creating some roof tiles. So I've got some nice textured paper here. I'm just going to cut little squares, and I'm just going to get lost in the process and quietly put this together using these as little strips. It doesn't matter about the colour because I shall do paint and ink effect over the top of it. So I'm just going to create some strips, and then I'm going to cut tiles in different sizes, starting to get a little bit bigger as we get further down, so that the tiles become larger at the bottom of the triangle pieces. And I'm just adding in some string here to make the dividing parts of this roof. Just putting some glue, doesn't matter because I'm going to be painting over this anyway. So I'm just putting some string just to show the lines of where this higgledy-piggledy witch's house sort of is, and then I can trim off the edges when it's all dry. Now the next thing to put on, and then I've got to leave the whole thing to dry, is going to be a stencil of my cobbles. I've got this one from Stampers Anonymous. This is a Tim Holtz collection. THS 105. And it's cells, it looks like cells. It could be for plants, it could be for beehives, and in this case it's going to be for cobbles, so I'm just sort of orientating it perhaps in this direction. I'm going to put down some ink and just see what it looks like, and then what I think I'm going to do is put some textured paste over the top to give it a raised edge. So I just want to see what that's going to look like. Oh, that's going to be great. And then I'll probably want a bit at the top as well. Yes, so we can now start to see how that might come together. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put it all the way around, and then I'm going to use my textured paste. Okay, I've got some textured grit paste from the Distress range. I'm just going to use some of that with a little bit of a palette knife here, and I'm just going to take some like that, and then I'm going to push it through the stencil. And hopefully create the sense of cobblestone texture. And I'll just wipe away any excess where I don't want it. Okay, let's have a play. So it's touch dry. You can see where the white areas are, it's still not completely dry, but I think I can start putting down a little bit of colour and be able to have a look at how I could colour this and see if my ideas are going to work. So I've got some ink sprays here. I'm just loosening this. This is an oxide spray by Distress, and it is peeled paint. What I want is, let's put this over here. I've got a little bit of water on it from this water brush. So I'm thinking that what I want is the paper behind to take on a slight green tone. So I'm just going to see if I can push that into the card behind. And that's working quite nicely. Some on the door as well. Okay, just spray it really. I might just do that. There we go, that's quicker coverage. All right, that was good. So we can see the water beading on the top because the grit paste is translucent. So I think what I would want is just to remove that now with some tissue. Okay, now I'm just going to blot this away with some dry tissue so that I'm taking off the green just sitting on the top of the grit paste. This one is a rustic wilderness, so I'm just going to put a little bit of spray on the top of that roof. That was a bit splattery, but that's okay because it's going to add a texture there. Let that soak in. And that can be the moss. And then I've got, what else have I got? I've got crackling campfire, so I might just spray that around the window. And then walnut stain for the roof. And then what I'll do is I'll put some acrylic paint over the top and put in some more detail. So that's my roof, and a bit on the door. And then lift any colour up from the stonework. And now that looks like there's been a murder scene in there, so I'm not having that. Let's see if we can dull that down a bit. Let's have a little bit of ice spruce, otherwise it doesn't look very pleasant through that window. Also thinking that this is a bit too bright along the bottom, so I'm just going to put a bit of spray down there. I've got some ground espresso for on here on my roof. So I've achieved a pretty good colour with the sprays. I need to reinforce the window. All right, so I've got this textured paper here. I'm just going to take a little bit of that and create a better window frame situation here. That's just going to strengthen up this bit here. I want to just make a wood effect on this paper so that I can add that to my window frame. I've put a little bit of glue there. We can paint that up in a minute. So let's stick this bit down because I'm quite happy that that colour is going to work out. I'll just put that in there. Just using a PVA glue there. Sticking that down, and I'll trim that round in a minute. We just add that in, and then I'm putting my ink on that white bit there in the middle. And we'll leave that to dry. And then I can add some more paint if necessary, but I'm going to paint my cobbles, and that's really it. I think I could trim here. I'm going to move that over there, and I'm just going to bring in this plastic bag just to mix my paints on. I'm going to put a little bit there and add some black and just create a grey. I won't want much. Just let's see how we get on with that, and just use a brush here. There we go. So this is just creating a nice soft grey colour. And then I can bring that over the top of my cobbles. All right, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of water. There we go. I'm just painting my cobbles here with a lighter colour. I'm really enjoying this. It's just a nice relaxing little craft here. The green from behind is picking up and it's bringing in its own little tone. The whole thing's looking quite good from here. It looks slightly realistic. What I want to do is hide the rope in a little bit more up the top there, so I think I'll probably want to bring in brown paint. Maybe I'll go like that with this. Just make that part of the wall, and then I can come in with another colour. Okay, that's great, that's coming along, and then I can just cut the little bits of string off of the top and maybe put in a tab top as well. Right, we're finished with that. Okay, I've also got a Stampers Anonymous stencil that looks like wood. I'm going to put that on the door. I think we'll just choose a section here. I'm going to use Distress Oxide ink in antique linen, which will hopefully give me enough of a contrast here, but the door wasn't particularly dark, so I'm not sure, but we'll just aim it in the general direction of that door. Oh, okay, that's all right. And then where I've gone over the top, we'll just take the tissue with a little bit of ink and just smudge it out. Like that. I found a little paper fastener and it's bright yellow, but I've put some acrylic paint on it and I'm going to just create a little catch there. So I'm putting my finger in there. I'm just going to take my awl. Oh. Right, I'm putting my finger in there. I'm just going to create a little hole here, keeping my finger out of the way. Just going to pierce a little hole there so that I can put this catch. So it's going to go like that, and then this will keep the door closed. So we just push the pin through there, and then that's going to go through the little hole that I've made, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to just open that out. I can get in there because the door is allowing me to do that. So I've just separated the two split pins. Oh, we've got Maggie talking to us in the background there. There we go. So that will keep the door closed. And I might just see if I can get that on a little bit tighter. So we'll just push that down. So these are Tim Holt's Thinlits, and they are die cuts, and I've used the same card that I've been using from a manila file folder. They are wildflowers, I believe, and then I've got a butterfly here as well, only the top of his wing's missing, but I'm going to make it look like it's metal, so that should work. And then I thought I would paint my beetles because they're a little bit lackluster, so I thought I could add luster. Now what I'm doing is thinking about these. Okay, I'm going to use my rusty hinge colour on the butterfly, and then what I want to do is emboss it and maybe make it look a bit, hopefully, like it's metal. So I'm just going to start off with this colour here. Okay, so we've got the butterfly looking like that, and now what I want to do is bring in a yellow tone for my plants. I want to do fossilised amber on them to begin with, and then I'm going to look at a green colour in a minute. So I'm just putting on my lighter colour first, and then I think I will have a colour up the top. I won't just have that green. All right, and then the same on this one, because I just want this one to be green, I think. I'm putting on the lighter colour first. All right, and now I've got mowed lawn, which I'm going to put down over the top of here, which is quite a nice bright green. And also I think on this ink pad in ink dauber I had some forest moss, so it's not a true colour, but it's pretty good. All right, so that's that one, and then I'm just going to do the bottom here in green, and then I'm going to do the same over the top of this one. And then we just have a variation of colour with the yellow coming through. That's quite nice. All right, bringing in that villainous potion there. Okay, and now over the top, I'm putting speckled egg onto everything. Okay, now over the top of this, I'm putting rusty hinge glaze, and I might put a little bit of salvage patina just so that it looks like it could be a copper. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get anywhere with the distressed embossing dabber, and just moving down over the top of where I would like the embossing glaze to go. So that's that one. This does move the ink about a little bit, it will lift off, but it's not too bad. All right, and then that's the butterfly done. So now I just want to do these in stages. I'm just going to move these off. So with the heat gun, I'm just going to melt the embossing powder. Okay, so I've got my pieces here. I'm going to be attaching them here with this precision nozzle here from Art Glitter Glue. And I'm going to just carefully go round, making sure that I've got glue all the way up. And then I'm going to add this here, like a vine going up the side. Just attaching it along the side of the window frame and up into the roof. Okay. I'm just going to take these little snips, snip right into that bit there, and then that will be part of the door which will fold open, and we just need to clip it at the bottom here as well. So this is going to stay stuck there, and then this piece needs to come and stick up there, so we'll just add a bit more glue. Okay, I'm just going to put that bit up there, stick that on. Okay, so I've got a bit of textured tape on the top there. I've used the stencil again with the wood effect, and now I'm just going to cut my hole here. Tab. Okay, and now I'm just putting in this top here, in some glue, and keep that all together like that. Oh, just a little bit of embroidery thread around the top there as another way of securing on. This is a little scrap of frayed fabric, and I'm just tying it on with some embroidery floss here just so that it looks like that on the top. So I'm just doing a double knot here. Take that away. There we go. Oh, there we have it. So that is the tag. It's just a little cottage in the woods, and goes really nicely with the toadstools that we've got here. And now let's just make sure that this fits inside, and then what I want to do to finish it off is to paint my beetles. And so when you take the beetles out, you'll have them looking a little bit more fabulous. Okay, I'm just putting a little bit of fabric embellishment on the tag here, so I'm hoping that this could even look like a curtain when it goes through. And I'm just having fun now putting some iridescent paint on my beetles, and hopefully you can see that there, that I've just coloured them in with my water brush using these watercolour mica paints that I have, and there they are. And then I've added just sort of a drizzle of green watercolour paint here from these palettes. Really, really cool. They are from Stacey Illustrations watercolour. I'll leave a link to Stacey Illustrations. I found her on Instagram. So there we go, they're really pretty. I've variegated the colours. I've used a turquoise and a blue there. I've used a green and a gold there. And then I had this nice pink colour here, and then this sort of iridescent one there. So that's lovely. And then here, I just thought I'd do something blue on top of this flower here to make it pop off the page a little bit more. And I'm thinking that this one was quite nice. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shimmer here onto this blue or purple flower. So just putting a little bit on one side, I think. It's still a little bit damp where I've put the painting on there, but I'm just eager to see whether my magical tag is going to slot inside here and just come and fit inside there, and that looks pretty good. There we go, and we can see there that that now acts as a little curtain for the inside window. And then I've got this bug or beetle here, and I'm still not sure about it. I could paint it. I could paint it with a more vibrant red colour. I'm just layering gold up on this bottom bit here because it's just reminding me of the Quidditch balls that they played their house games with, so I think that that would be quite fitting if I could just keep layering that shimmer up with the gold tone. Okay, I found this brad of a pocket watch and I'm just attaching it to this scrap of paper here, pushing in the spikes. Okay, I've put the 3-in-1. I'm just going to pull this out a bit so that I can get to it and glue that into the middle. Okay, bringing this up now for closer inspection, we can see that we've got this fun little magical tag of the little cottage in the woods. There we go. So I think that that's really cute with opening door and the little bugs and the beetles inside and the vines going up the side of the house. A little magical house for this time of year to go with the journaling cards, and I think that that was really great fun. So I hope that you've enjoyed watching me put that together and having a really nice relaxing time in my quiet space. So recapping, what I've used here was just some scrap textured paper, some ink and some acrylic paint, and then I had some die cut images of the plants, and that was just a little brad that I happened to have, but that could have been a button, so that would have looked great as well if it was a button, or it could have been some other card embellishment. It could have been anything really. So there we go, that's the back. And what might be nice is a pocket there to have that on the back, and then more things could be tucked in. That's another idea. I'm going to leave that up to my swap partner to decide. She can turn that into whatever she wants, but I think that that's really fun on the front there. Lovely to have something treasured from the treasured page, and I'm going to send that off to Jeanette with one of the mushrooms, and then I'm going to do a altered envelope in the next video, and then we'll bring the whole lot together, and that will be this month's challenge, albeit quite involved. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you'll be able to find and follow along with my videos in your subscription list, and also you can click on the bell icon so that you don't miss my next video if you would like to see how I complete the set. All of these videos can be found in the Send a Signature 2024 playlist, and you can follow along with all the monthly projects from the comfort of your home. And if you would like to find a swap partner and you're interested in signing up for one of our swaps in your country, then do head over to the Facebook page. That's the Treasured Page FB group. And if you'd like to have a look at the pictures and the inspirations from others following the Treasured Page, do please head over to my Facebook group. That is the Treasured Page FB group. You can join and you will be able to have a look at all the photos, and if you would like to sign yourself up for one of the swaps, you can do so. The next sign up will be in November, and you'll look out for the post, add your name, add your country, and you'll be able to join in for the next 3-month swap through the winter, which will be in December, January and February. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and above all else, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye bye now.